Hi everyone, it's Maria from Creative Grids and I've got a ruler for you. I've got a 6.5 inch square that's been designed for left-handed cutters. What makes it left-handed, you ask? Well, we've mirror imaged the numbers from our original 6.5 inch square to show up on the left-hand side of the ruler so that you can easily cut from that side. So to give you a quick comparison, here I have our original 6.5 inch square, and here I have the left-handed. You'll notice that they both start at 0 up here in the corners. The numbers run down to 6.5, and then they run across to 6.5 as well. Now the 6.5 isn't written, but here's the 6, there's an extra 1/2 inch, so that's how big that ruler gets. Same great features as before, but this one's got a left hand printed on the ruler, and you'll see this beautiful teal band across the top of my label. It has a left hand and it says left-handed 6.5 by 6.5. This left-handed ruler has all of the great features that our rulers are known for. It's got the 1 inch grid markings. There are hash marks in between each 1 inch for 1/4 inches and 1/8 inches. It has fine white markings in between there, which you'll notice go horizontal along this edge till they hit this diagonal line, then they change direction. So it's great for squaring up half square triangles, squares, fussy cutting, whatever you're going to use it for. It has our exclusive non-slip embedded grip. And if I flip it over, you can see that on these two edges, it's 1/4 inch wide, and on the other two, it's 1/2 inch wide. So there's a little extra grip there. It has centering lines. Right here is that bullseye. So since this is a 6.5 inch ruler, I'm going to be 3¼ inches from this edge, 3¼ from this edge, 3¼ from this one, and from this one, no matter which way I'm measuring. So if I need to find the center of something quickly, that's my starting point there. It has a 45-degree angle line, which you see going from corner to corner here. And my favorite part, it is made right here in the USA. So let me show you how easy left-handed cutting can be. I have here a 5-inch strip, which I'm measuring with my ruler, and it's not even on the ends, and I'm going to make a project that needs some 5-inch squares. So I'm going to start by laying that ruler about 1 inch over the right-hand side of the edge of fabric that I want to clean up. I've laid my strip along the grid on the mat, and I've got my ruler lined up on the perpendicular grid as well. I'm going to add slight pressure like the instructions tell me and run my cutter up that left-hand side of the ruler. The really nice thing you can see here is that these numbers in the white circles are all right side up and facing me. If I wanted to do the next cut in a whole inch increment, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 6.5 to choose from. But like I told you, I want some 5-inch squares. So I'm going to line it up with the 5 on my raw edge on the right side of my fabric. You can see it comes down to a corner here on that diagonal line and goes back across to the 5 over here. So I know I'm going to get a square when I'm done. Pick up that ruler, move it again. And now I remember, oh, I need some 5 by 2.5s for something else, maybe a rail fence I'm going to make or some other project. I am going to turn that ruler around. That's that great turnaround feature that we talk about with the ruler. And look at what is right side up now. Now I've got the 1/2 inch marks showing right side up. I'm going to kind of ignore these guys because I'm still going to cut a 5-inch square. And I can see on my mat here, look at this, I'm 5.5 instead of 5. So I'm going to move it down a little bit, except for I want a 2.5 inch piece, so I'm going to move it even further. And there we go. Before you cut, I always double check that measurement. And if I don't double check, sometimes I make a miscut, and that's my own fault because I didn't double check my recipe for the quilt or the list that I'm cutting off of. But here I am. I've got a 5 inch piece. I want a 2.5 inch wedge from it. Lining that up, applying some pressure, sliding that blade along the left-hand side of the ruler. And there you have it. Now I've got some half square triangle squares I want to trim up. So I'm going to see how big they are to start with. I'm going to lay my ruler on here, lining up that diagonal line with my seam line. I started with a layer cake, so I got 8 of them out of the layer cake. And now it looks like I can easily get 4.5 inch square. Can you see that on there? Here's the 4 to half. And wait, if I turn my ruler around, it's even more visible. Since the white circles are my whole numbers, let's use that turnaround feature. Look at how easy that was. So now I'm all the way on my square by at least a little bit. I've lined that diagonal line up. I'm going to apply that slight pressure and carefully cut up to the top and then across the top as well. Pull that little bit away. Line that 4.5 inch up again, checking that diagonal seam line and cleaning up the other 2 sides. Now, if you've misread your pattern and you really needed a smaller one, maybe I want a 4 inch. I can come back, line this up, so I've got 4 inches on top of there. It fits all the way on top of the square, etc. In no time at all, I'm going to have these all trimmed up and ready to go, and my quilt is going to be done and ready for quilting. The lines that come along here, these white lines, help me to find that square lineup in there, so I find those to be very handy too. So we welcome the first left-handed creative grid square to the family. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Instagram to stay up to date with our newest rulers, tools, and videos. To find a shop near you or one of our trusted online retailers, visit creativegridsusa.com and click on the Where to Buy tab. And I'll see you all real soon.